Hello everybody. Do you know that every year 8 million children go missing worldwide? 800,000 of those alone in the US. Or have you ever been lucky enough to look after a group of children and had the misfortune of losing one momentarily, had that gut reaction and going panicked? Ladies and gentlemen, this is quite a common problem. My name is Lorcan Bannon. And I'm here to represent Team Footprints. And our aim is to make the world a safer place for children. To do this, we've developed two products. The first product I'd like to speak about is Watch and One. This is a wearable tech piece that children could wear. It's really brought to life in terms of the design and functionality, but the two core elements are GPS tracking and also a water alert system. In terms of target market, we're looking at parents with children aged 2 to 12. I want to take you through a little bit more. The unique features of this, as I say, the design, very often watches or trackable devices for children are around the wrist and often quite obvious and quite easy to take away almost. So one of the features is this, the flexibility in the design. So this device has the ability to be tracked through GPS and Wi-Fi and GPS, but also has the water alert. The functionality, the flexibility is really in how it's applied to children. So for example, you could have it on your shoelace, you could have it attached to different parts of your clothing. The second element that I'd like to, so that brings it to life a little bit more visually. The second element I'd like to take you guys through would be the wearable device. Takes the same initial insight that kids need to be tracked, but it's more for the second problem, the ability to track and trace groups of children. For example, let's take the target audience of preschool children and or entertainment destination places like the zoo or Crow Park. We'll walk through a quick example. Say for example you're a teacher with 30 children, you arrive at the zoo, you're greeted, you register, you receive your 30 wristbands. You then have the ability through an app to track the children, and if, for example, a kid is missing or is wandered off too far away, you can then quite easily follow them up and bring them back to the group. So that in essence is the actual products. Competition, this is a global problem. Competitors come from all over the world. Some of our key competitors are branded wearable techs in the children. So there's competitors that are non-branded from China, but in terms of branded devices, the guys here, a lot of them have just come through Kickstarter. And in terms of Philip, probably the most well-known, has venture capital and has a retail price of $199. In terms of our business model, we're looking at two business models. The first is really Watch and One, so the parent-child device. Once-off payment of $150 with a recurring fee of $5 to cover the data exchange to the SIM card that's installed within the device. The second business model is a little bit more innovative in a way. It's more aimed at the business. For example, if you take the likes of the Dublin Zoo, where we would give the hardware for free, but then charge a monthly rental fee. This would obviously give us a recurring model. In terms of size of the prize, if we take a number that there's 48 million children in the US, ballparking but medium range 1% target, we could have a revenue or turnover of 75 million within 3 years if we shipped 480,000. Over the course of this weekend, we've been quite busy obviously to try and develop the product, but also customer developed is featured quite heavily. We've had conversations with the local creche or preschool in Dublin. They've expressed an interest, and also GA, the sponsorship managers, expressed an interest in that as well. Final quick point, our team, we've been blessed in terms of how our team have come together from different backgrounds, but also from the support that we've received, notably Intel and Golgi. Big shout out to those guys. Thank you.
You talked about your competitors there. What differentiates you from the competition?
Okay, it's a very good question. In terms of, we're pitching this at a branded wearable tech piece, so the market is $100 to $199. The differentiating point is really the flexibility in design, first of all. So the idea that, as I said, most competitors have a wristwatch. This device with this design has the flexibility to be worn on any part of the body. Secondly, is also the combination of both a GPS and a water sensor. So a lot of the competitors have a tracking device, but don't necessarily have the ability. They have the ability potentially to communicate back, but the water, that combination doesn't really exist. And the problem of children drowning in pools, for example, at home, is a major problem. Now, there is solutions to that separately, but this combination of both in a unit doesn't exist. So that would set us apart. And the price point kind of pitches it in between to a degree. I'd say the cheaper versions would be around $99.
Sorry, I was just going to ask, is there a particular reason you're targeting a demographic of children? I mean, it would seem that the group one in particular would be useful for any kind of... I mean, the groups that you see going around with the flag up and they're trying to stay together.
Very good. To be honest, we could have presented another 10 slides in terms of where you could go with this. We've kind of spoke about...
We kind of had to pick one.
Yeah.
So we kind of had to pick one, but absolutely, I think it's very obvious that it's applicable to the elderly, pets. There's a lot of markets, I think, that are obvious.
How far did you get in your conversation this weekend?
So we were able to get the proximity sensor and the water sensor working, and we were able to transmit that data to a simple application that we had. So we had that working using the Golgi server, and all of that helped. So we used the Edison hardware for that, Intel Edison.
Did you consider things as battery life and charging and that kind of things?
Yeah, I think that is one of the major factors in terms. It would be a rechargeable battery that we've looked into. In terms of the pricing behind it, it was a rechargeable battery that we looked at. But the design, actually, one of the inputs that the guys looked at did include that element of a rechargeable feature. It's probably a necessary evil, I would suggest, in terms of you need to have it constantly put in.
Yeah, but also we looked into, there's a lot of development into the technology of dynamos in watches, and that technology could be really transferable in this situation, and considering how active kids are, it could be really, really fun.